welcome to another layout. Now this one is, I wanted to have a bit of a play with textures. I haven't sort of done much with wood textures lately, and I sort of thought, you know what, I haven't done any masculine layouts for a little bit. So I had these photos. I often print a bunch of photos and then I'll lean heavily towards certain ones or the black and whites or whatever. And I just so happened a couple of weeks ago when I was printing some photos, I comedically I printed some photos of my husband. He was being silly, and when he has time off over Christmas, which is when he has his holidays for the year, he goes like most men do, and they decide, no, I'm not shaving for a couple of days because I don't have to go to work. And it totally works for him and it doesn't faze me in the slightest. So, but this particular year, last year, we decided that it'd be quite funny if I took some photos of it. Anyway, I printed them out. And my husband, anyone that knows my husband, knows that he is always clean shaven, never has, you know, a mustache, a goatee, a beard, or anything whatsoever. So I thought I'd print these photos because years from now, we'll probably look back and go, wow, okay, you were pretty grey by that point. And that was actually a comment that my girls made. They made the comment, and I'm like, whoa, beard's a bit grey, Dad, you know, grey beard, whoa. So I thought I'd print these photos and have a bit of a play. I've had a few ideas, and I go through at the end of this. Obviously, I've only been on this scrapbooking YouTube thing for 12 months, a bit over 12 months. And so what I do is I get to in my diary and I just brain dump just different ideas and different concepts for if and when the time comes where I might be having a bit of a non-creative moment and I need to sort of draw on inspiration from somewhere. So sometimes I just write some random words. Sometimes it's an actual idea. Different things sort of give me inspiration in different points, right? So anyway, blah, blah, blah. So one of the things that I had written in my book was arrows. I know, just a random word, arrows. But I have told you guys that in 2023, I'm going to let you know what inspired the layout. Okay. So one, I wanted to do some more masculine layouts this year. And two, I wanted to bring you whatever inspired me. So the word that inspired me was arrows. And I thought, now how can I do something with arrows? And that's when I decided I'm going to pull this out. And here I'm using a quilling tool. I bought these and I've never ever used them, but I like rolling the edges of paper. But me with my clunky arthritis fingers, I can't grab it properly. So I bought these tools and they're fantastic. You can just roll. They've got like a little slot in them if you've never seen one before. And yeah, I think I just got mine off Amazon and they were like $5 or something. And they weren't very much. I've honestly never used them. I've never done quilling ever, but you never know. Never say never. I might give it a crack one day. So I gutted this piece of paper because I figured I could use it on the front. So that's what I put my photos on because they're only small photos. I mean, let's be honest. It's just a candid snapshot, really. So then this is where my arrow comes into it. So I have actually pulled out some Distress Oxide inks and my VERSAFINE ONYX black ink. And I basically decided that I was just going to go to town with this. And I'm going to use a bit of mixed media. I'm going to create a background. And I'm going to use, I have pulled out, you've got no idea, like I pulled out about 8 different stamp sets. And those stamp sets had all different sorts of arrows. So basically all I'm doing here, I'm just putting down a little bit of gesso. Reason why, it's not because of the fact that I'm going to use lots and lots of ink, but I wanted to sort of do that with a bit of packaging just to get a little bit of blanket colour down on the white background. And this is something, Lex, no. Sorry, my dog's in here with me. I've literally done 3 layouts today, and I'm voiceovering these now. We've just had dinner. The kids are all ready. They're organised for bed. So it's time for me to get in here and do some voiceovers. So all I'm trying to do is kind of get some distinct brown, some distinct green, because that's what's in the wood. Now, the wood paneling is a Craft Consortium Wood Textures 12 by 12 paper pad. I got mine from Crazy Craft Obsession. I'm not sure if they have any in stock at the moment, but if you're looking for them, that's what it is. That's what the wood pack was that I got it from. Okay, it's the end of the day, and I've been doing lots of scrapping. Okay, so as you can see, I've got heaps and heaps of stamps. Now, each stamp set itself is not necessarily just about arrows, but I wanted to just go around and just use a generic something, which arrows. It could mean anything. It could be up, it could be down, it could be look at this, look here, you know, turn this way, all the different things. It doesn't, nothing really specific about it. So I'm just using my Distress Oxides. Now, these are not, okay, if you wanted to get perfect stamping, you would probably use the VERSAFINE Clears. They are crystal clear ink to stamp with, but I find for what I do, I never go for a perfect stamp. The mustaches that you can see there, they were, yes, they are stamped crystal clear because that I wanted those to be bright and bold, and I used the VERSAFINE ONYX ink for that. And that's why they are crystal clear. Because obviously we're talking about his facial hair, so that's why I wanted to do that. Now, all I'm doing here is just going to town, adding all different arrows. I do have, you can see there at the moment, that's a Lawn Fawn stamp set. I don't even know if you can still get it anymore. But I mean, I've had it for a very long time. And all I'm doing is just adding some first and second generation little teeny tiny arrow stamps, just to add some different directions and kind of busy up the paper. That's what I'm pretty much trying to do. So it totally, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I don't normally do greens and browns. You know, if you follow MK, she does a lot of greens and browns, and I'm always in awe of how she does it. And to be honest, that's just not me. I don't usually use grays, browns, greens, you know, those sort of colors. But I'm trying. I'm pushing myself out of my comfort zone, and I'm going to give it a bit of a crack. We need to try and get some more masculine layouts happening. So basically, I'm just going through and adding all of those. You can see all my, I literally have got a Crafter-Lanch next to me while I'm doing this. There is literally all these stamps, and they are just, they're everywhere. There was just a massive, I was waiting for it to all slide off into my bin, because I've got a massive bin next to me and off to my left hand side, and I was waiting for it to all go in the bin. But that's okay. So while I'm doing this, what else can I tell you that I have used? So I've used, so the colours that I used was Rustic Wilderness, that's the green. The brown is Vintage Photo, combined with a bit of ground espresso and walnut stain. So all of those colours I've used to get different depths of brown. And the VERSAFINE ONYX black ink, that's a must. If you want any kind of clear stamps, that's the black. For me personally, that one just works a treat. Now, the reason I'm using I just put a little bit of the Distress Oxide spray in black soot, just to get a couple of little speckles of black going around it. Now, what was I going to say? I've lost my train of thought now. I totally lost where I was going with that then. You can tell it's the end of the day, right? So I'm just adding a little bit of craft foam to the background here, just so you can see that, give it a little bit of depth. And by creating that little false shadow, by creating that little bit of a shadow, it just makes it sort of pop off the page a little bit better, gives it more depth. The other thing, that's right. I remember where I was going with it now. So you just give me enough time and I'll have a roundabout and I'll come back to it. So pretty much now you can see that my page is a little bit warped here, and the reason why it was warped is because I've used tape on some of my stuff, and because I've used the heat tool, it's curled it up. So it's curled it like a banana. So if you turn it over and just get your heat tool and run around the back of it, it will curl it the other way. So, and it's not a big, for me, it's not a big deal, because when they are in my album, they all squash down flat anyway. So these are my Uniquely Creative cogs. They're rose gold metal cogs. That's what they are. Now I've got 2 packets of these. I did do one layout last year where I used some of these cogs. Again, I'm going to name drop. MK can use these things like there's no tomorrow. I'm hopeless. Me and cogs, we don't go together very well. I struggle to use them. I always think it doesn't quite look right. I don't know why. But the focus on this page for me was meant to be the greens and the browns and the arrows. But I did remember to pull these out, and I remember there was a lady, I think her name it eludes me, but I think her name was Pam. I think. Pam, if you're watching, leave me a message below if it was you. And if it wasn't Pam, if her name wasn't Pam, the lady that told me about colouring these cogs. So because they're metal, I was struggling to use them because they're rose gold and they're really shiny and blingy, which is what I liked about them, but they really don't go with anything. So she said to use alcohol ink and it will dry on there and you can use them and you can change the colours of them. And boom, bada bing, check this out. It works beautifully. Okay, don't hold your heat tool quite so close to the plastic because then you melt it and warp it like I just did. But the cogs look amazing. And I just added a few drops of brown and then I come back in with a couple more drops of black, and the heat tool just evaporates, and they absolutely worked and I love them. They look so much better. I can use them when they're a bit more grungy. Now, I did come in here with my nail file just to sort of scratch it. Again, to make it look more grungy, I suppose. And it totally works. So, as you can see now, there's a little bit of shine, but they're not in your face bright rose colored gold. Like it sort of goes a bit better. Now, it's looking really sort of, it's coming together. I'm liking where it's going. Completely different for me. I'm not usually a major stamper, so that's a big tick for me. 2, it's a male layout. 3, I mean, let's be honest, I've used some more of these cogs. I will never throw them out, but they're just not really my thing. I probably wouldn't buy them again, but if you are looking for cogs, Uniquely Creative have got some great ones. Now, I got this set of thickers. This set of thickers, I don't even think I've written down what they were. Did I write them down? No, I did not. Excuse my chair if it squeaks. I can tell you, only because I can reach it from my chair. Storyline chapters, these thickers are. And I got these from Crazy Craft Obsession, and they are fantastic. They are just a plain chipboard. There's no prep on them whatsoever, and you can make them whatever color you like. You can paint them. You can use ink. You can do stamping on them. You can use embossing powders on them. You can do anything with these things. So I decided to make mine literally grey-brown pretty much. And At this point, I was a little concerned that my title didn't stand out enough, because I'm used to having, you know, I like doing that white offset and having my letters to the front. So I am sort of tapping, going, what do I do? Should I, shouldn't I? And then I went, no, commit to it. You've done it. You know it looks okay. Just do it. And I actually come in with a little bit of pen work, and it helps. It does help. But I had to stop myself because I'm so used to always just doing, we have our go-to things that we always fall back on because we know it works. And that's when I realized, no, I just need to take a step back, do a bit of pen work around the border. That'll help tie that in with the stamps a little bit more. And it did. And then I just did a little bit of journaling down the bottom there. And then I used my black Posca pen. Now, I say it all the time, but a little bit of pen work can save the day. And it can take your page from wow to wow. That's awesome. So I just went through the center of the letters, and it just helps them. Well, you'll see in the close-ups, you can see it a little bit better and it pops a bit more. So I was really happy with how this turned out. So here's the close-ups for you guys. I'm going to twist and contort this so you can see it in all different lights. See how the title, you can actually read it better, but when it's down so far, you can't really see it like that. But when, yeah, in person, you can see it. So I'm going to do my shameless plug. If you have not subscribed to my channel, it is free. I do 6 videos a week at minimum, and this is my job. This is my full-time job. I also have a Facebook and Instagram, and if you have not a Facebook group, if you have not already joined that, please, by all means, jump in the description below and pop over there and check out what we do over there. It's basically a share and help situation if people need help with things. So, yeah. What else can I say? Subscribing, we're going to have a giveaway at 1,500 subscribers. So get everyone to subscribe, because then we can get to that 1,500, and then I'm going to give away some money. So there you go. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. I'll chat to you soon. Bye for now.